2003, I was able to get with a few of my friends, and we formed CrunchTime's Fantasy Football. We used CBS Sportsline as our website. The original owners and teams were Evan's G-Men, Paul's Hitting Hard, Randy's Stars, Mr. Ern's Packhouse 2, and Alvin's Godfathers.
What I remember about the inaugural 2003 season is Paul had said, hey, I'm going to start a league up. And I'm like, good. And we only had a few teams, and everybody's team was pretty much stacked with players. And we got together and got the league formed.
What I remember about the 2003 season is that we only had 5 teams. You know, myself, Evans, my brother Chip, Randy, and Mr. Ern. So therefore, our starting teams were just all-star teams. And then even you had a bunch of all-stars on your backup squad. So, you know, teams were just, you know, full of talent.
And I had some great players. I had, you know, Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner, Marvin Harrison. I had a pretty nice team. My bench even had players like Tony Gonzalez is sitting on the bench. Peyton Manning was one of my bench players.
I had Jamal Lewis. Jamal Lewis had the big year where he ran for 200 and some yards against Cleveland. I had Ricky Williams, who led the league in rushing yards that year. It was right before all of his problems, but Ricky Williams had an incredible year.
And when we started, I was doing pretty well. You know, I won quite a few games in the league, and things were going fine. Then it was time for the Super Bowl. Super Bowl finally came up, and I remember the Rams were pretty good that year, so they rested some of their star players. So I'm like, uh-oh, I need to bring in my backup players. So I brought in Peyton Manning off the bench to get in the game, and another back I brought in, it was Ahman Green. Brought them in.
Going into the Super Bowl, I thought I would win the whole thing. You know, I call myself being a strategist. I used Mark Bolger, who played for the St. Louis Rams at the time, because Evans had Kurt Warner, and he also had, I believe he had Marshall Faulk. So I knew they weren't playing in week 15. They were being rested. But Mark Bolger was going to play, and the receivers were going to play. So therefore, I thought going in, Mark Bolger might have a great game.
The game was pretty tight, and the fourth quarter, Paul was up. He was up on me by about 30-something points.
Going into Monday night's game, it was a Monday night game where it was Denver Broncos versus the Green Bay Packers, and he only had one player playing, Ahman Green. And Ahman Green hadn't scored no more than 25 or 30 points all season long. So therefore, I felt very comfortable that I was going to win the first Super Bowl. I was planning on my ring. You know, I had gone to the website, and I'm looking, and I'm trying to design what I'm going to have on my ring. And but they played that game that Monday night.
And I remember Green Bay was on the 2-yard line with 98 yards to go. And the ball was handed off to Ahman Green up the middle.
He goes up the middle, and then he breaks to the right. And next thing you know, he's gone. And all I'm doing is watching him go up the sideline. And I'm going, please, somebody tackle him, kick him, knock him out of bounds, do something.
And he ran 98 yards for the score. It was great, and I can only imagine the look on Paul's face when he ran straight up the middle. And I think I just barely beat him by a few points.
He took it for 98 yards. He scored the touchdown. So not only did he get the points for the run, but he got the 6 points for the touchdown, which made the final score of our very first Super Bowl 314 to 319. G-Men.
It was great. Crunch time. It's all about the ring, baby. All about the ring.